Eggs. Should everyone be eating them? Then why are we always told to eat fewer, with everyone constantly talking about cholesterol? And what about the hormones or toxic dioxins found in eggs? There are countless videos where doctors and nutrition experts claim that eggs are incredibly healthy and that eating 2 or 3 a day is perfectly fine. But is what the experts say actually true? Hello, we are Better Body Daily, and with our YouTube channel, we want to provide medical, understandable, and correct information about diseases, causes of these diseases, and what we can do about them ourselves with our own diet combined with exercise and sport. Because all of this is very closely related, and if you don't want to miss anything, then subscribe to our channel now. Of course, statements that eggs contain hormones that can disrupt our hormonal balance, or that they're bad for cholesterol levels, are unsettling. But then you hear again that eggs are amazing and a superb source of protein. So what's the truth? Honestly, the answer to the question of how many eggs are healthy per week surprised me and proved once again that you never stop learning. What is ultimately allowed, what is healthy, and what no one has told you before, you'll find out in this video. 5 common mistakes. Let's see how many of these mistakes you might be making. Number 1. Eating raw eggs. Consuming raw eggs is known in the bodybuilding scene, but please, do not imitate this. Raw eggs can be a source of salmonella, which can lead to diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Always cook your eggs thoroughly. Number 2. Cooking eggs in the microwave. If an egg is cooked in the microwave without precaution, it can explode. If you absolutely must cook an egg in the microwave, a helpful tip is to pierce it first and place it in a bowl of water. But honestly, a conventional pot works just as well. Number 3. Combining eggs with fatty foods. Yes, eggs with bacon taste delicious, and exceptions are allowed. However, you shouldn't add heaps of bacon to every scramble, as it's rich in saturated fats, which in high amounts can increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Number 4. Overcooking or overfrying. When eggs are cooked or fried for too long, important nutrients are lost. From a nutritional medicine perspective, this is important to know. That's why I would always prefer a soft-boiled egg over a hard-boiled one. Scrambled eggs should also be cooked briefly and not at excessively high temperatures. Number 5. Improper storage. Ideally, eggs should be stored in the refrigerator. While they can theoretically be stored at room temperature, their shelf life is significantly shorter. Important: once eggs have been stored at refrigerator temperature, they should not be kept at room temperature afterward. Once in the fridge, always in the fridge. Myths about eggs. Myth number 1. Hormones in eggs. Do eggs contain steroid hormones that can disrupt the human hormonal balance? While it's true that hormones can be detected in eggs, they are present in such small quantities that they have no effect on the human hormonal system. These hormones serve the embryonic development of the chicks. The claim that eggs negatively affect human hormone balance is clearly a myth. Myth number 2. Dioxin in eggs. This substance is highly toxic, considered carcinogenic, and can damage the immune and hormonal systems. However, the limits for dioxins are, at least in Europe, well regulated, and monitoring is very strict. A short-term excess is considered harmless. What matters more is the long-term total intake. As a general rule for food, the dose makes the poison. A single food that is, let's say, slightly contaminated won't kill us immediately. For comparison, it's similar to eating salmon. You shouldn't eat it in excessive amounts because of the heavy metals it contains. Twice a week is sufficient. But eating salmon once in a while doesn't mean you're poisoning your body. So remember, dioxins in eggs do not pose a major danger. Myth number 3. Eggs are bad for cholesterol. One egg contains about 280 milligrams of cholesterol. The American Heart Association recommends limiting intake to less than 300 milligrams per day. Does this mean you can hardly eat any eggs? A high cholesterol level, especially LDL cholesterol, is bad for us. However, recent studies show that the cholesterol in eggs has little effect on blood cholesterol levels. Far more significant are trans fats like in fries and saturated fats, which you can find in bacon. Genetics also play a huge role. So, demonizing eggs because of their cholesterol content is nonsense. There are so-called responders, about 15% of the population, whose blood cholesterol is affected by the cholesterol in eggs. For the remaining 85%, non-responders, it doesn't matter. Myth number 4. The egg white is the healthiest part. In fact, it's the other way around. The yolk contains more protein than the white and also differs in its nutrient composition. Both parts of the egg offer different benefits. Myth number 5. Brown eggs are healthier than white eggs. The breed of the hen exclusively determines the color of the eggshell. The hen's diet, on the other hand, determines the color of the yolk. Because many consumers prefer eggs with a bright orange yolk, carotenoids are often added to the feed. Eggs from different housing systems are also available. Many assume that the housing only affects animal welfare. But from a nutritional medicine perspective, the housing system has a much greater impact. So, you're not just doing something good for the hens. It's known that organic eggs contain more omega-3 fatty acids and more vitamin D than eggs from conventional farming. This is partly due to the animal's diet. Additionally, the stress levels of the animals also negatively affect the nutrient profile of the eggs. Therefore, it's best to use organic, free-range eggs. Health benefits. I regularly buy eggs, not just because they taste good, but because they also offer health benefits. Eggs contain the following valuable nutrients. Number 1. Protein. Eggs contain all 9 essential amino acids and have a biological value of 100. This means our body can use the protein with exceptional efficiency. Number 2. Vitamins. Eggs contain fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, and a notable amount of vitamin B12. Just one egg covers 25% of the daily B12 requirement. Number 3. Trace elements. Zinc and selenium are also present. Number 4. Choline. This important nutrient is involved in building cell membranes and is a precursor to the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which is crucial for memory, muscle control, and nerve communication. Choline also plays a role in fat metabolism in the liver, thus helping to prevent a fatty liver. Number 5. Antioxidants. Lutein and zeaxanthin play a protective role for our eyes by acting as a filter for harmful UV rays. These two substances can also help maintain visual acuity. So, not just carrots are good for our eyes, but eggs are too, especially as visual sharpness tends to decline with age. Of course, eggs alone won't prevent you from needing glasses or developing eye diseases. But as a general rule, a single food alone does not cure diseases. It's always about the overall dietary pattern and your lifestyle. Eggs can be a small, positive contribution. Tips for storage and purchase. When buying eggs, look for information on the housing system, origin, and farm. For processed products like mayonnaise or potato salad, the origin of the eggs often doesn't have to be declared, and usually, the cheapest eggs are used. Eggs are also often found in ready meals or ice cream, and you don't know where they come from. And to say it again, eating 1 egg a day is no problem. Eating 2 eggs a day is no problem. Probably eating 3 or 4 eggs a day is no problem either. Eggs are a great food, and I'd rather eat an egg occasionally when I feel like it continue to do so for the next 20, 30, or 40 years rather than forcing myself to eat 4 eggs a day now, just because I'm going to the gym only to get sick of them and stop eating them altogether. I find this a much more important perspective than debating 1 egg versus 3. Even if eggs aren't in the refrigerated section at the supermarket, they should be stored in the fridge at home to ensure the longest possible shelf life and minimize the risk of salmonella. If you don't know if an egg is still good, do the water test. Place the egg in a glass of water. If it sinks to the bottom, it's fresh. If it floats to the top, it's spoiled and should be discarded. If it stands diagonally in the water, it should only be used after being thoroughly cooked. Now, let me know, do you eat eggs regularly? I love eggs. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.